Welcome to Telling Your Story. How do we go about telling our story on how we came to know Jesus? Well, it's very, very simple. There's four simple stages which will just take a couple of minutes. Now, it's not very often that you have 20, 30 minutes to explain what your life was like. But how can you tell your story in three, maybe five minutes? And so this is what I would do. Now, there's just talk for a few moments about what your life was like before you came to know with Jesus. Don't spend too much time dealing with the specifics of sin and glorifying the devil, but just generalize what your life was a bit like. Then go on to about that period of time, that process of how you came to know Jesus, what was happening in your life, the circumstances and situations around that. That's during your conversion experience. And then how you came to Christ and afterwards, and what Jesus means to you right now. So there's the BC, before Christ, DC, during your conversion experience, and AC, after Christ or after your conversion experience. And also just mention a bit about what your life is like right now. I'm just going to go and tell my story right now. Hi. I'd like to tell you what happened to me on the 15th of December 1985 at about 10 past 11 at night. But just as before I do, I'd like to tell you a bit about what my life was like. I grew up in Bristol, a mum and a dad. Dad provided everything for us, really. We had not lots, but everything that we needed. Food in our beds, clothes on our back, presents at Christmas time, went on holiday each year. Life was good as a child, really. I've had two brothers and one sister. Went into Sunday school as a kid. But when I became about 15, 16 years old, I just got bored with going to church. I became a mod and got in trouble with the police, fighting the punks and the skinheads, taking drugs, and just general mucking around, really, getting into a bit of trouble. But then I left Bristol, moved down to Winchester, and there was this cute way teachers which I wanted to ask out. I said, "Oh, do you want to go out for a drink?" And she said, "Oh, I'm going to church." I said, "Okay, I haven't been for ages," so we went to church, and this church was different. There was something which I'd never felt in that building before. I found out later, it was the presence and the love of Jesus. We kept going back over a few weeks. And then on the 15th of December 1985, God spoke to me as clearly as I'm speaking to you now. And then he said, "Mike, what's the worst thing that you've done in your life?" And I gave him a big list. Fighting, getting into trouble with the police, taking drugs, and lots of other things as well. And God said no. God said the worst thing that I'd ever done was to turn my back on that one person who loved me and who died for me, Jesus Christ. That night, I asked Jesus to come into my life. At that moment, I felt his love and peace fill my heart. And I knew that I was forgiven, that I was accepted for just who I was. Not for anything that I had to do, not to prove anything to anybody. I knew that I was accepted. Now, 35 years later, I've been walking with Jesus every single day. And I can honestly say that he's never let me down. Things may not have always turned out the way I thought them were, or the most, but there's a passage in the Bible that says that the thief comes to kill, to steal, and to destroy. But Jesus said, "I have come that you may have life, and life in all its abundance." And then do you know what? I've received that abundant life. I've got peace within my heart. I know that I'm forgiven. And one day when I breathe my last breath on this earth, I know I'll be going to heaven. Just want to ask you a quick question. Do you have that assurance that if you were to die right now, you'll be able to stand before Jesus in heaven?